The Tufts University student detained by ICE officials after expressing support for Palestinians has been spared deportation, at least for now. But as a judge moves her case to a different state, we're learning other students nationwide are also at risk of losing their visas. I want to bring in CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman, who's joining me now in studio to talk about this. So, Katrina, what is the significance of this judge's order?
The Tufts case?
Yeah.
So the judge in Massachusetts decided that that case should be moved to Vermont. But Vlad, it's now up to the judge this will get assigned to in Vermont to decide what's next. Whether they think Vermont is the right forum for this case, the government is going to continue to try to get this case moved to Louisiana, as they have been doing with multiple of these student visa cases. But once it can move forward, this is where they'll hear about her habeas petition. That's her effort to be released from detention.
So there are a number of students whose visas are in jeopardy simply because they are expressing their First Amendment right. When will we see challenges that take these cases beyond just the state and local courts?
This is a great question, Vlad, and this is something that is not normally done. Schools are discovering that many of their students have had their visas revoked, and they're saying that they're doing this just by going through their records. So Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley, all across the country, they're seeing this happen. This is something that would normally take place in an immigration court, and usually there aren't a lot of grounds for these students to contest their visas being revoked. But what's happening now is so unusual, and a lot of immigration lawyers say unprecedented, because usually a visa is taken away because someone has violated the terms. They're at a school, they're not in good academic standing. They've committed a crime. There's an actual basis here. But these schools are saying they don't know why these visas are being revoked. And not all of them even seem to be based on speech, as we've seen with Mahmoud Khalil and Osterich, the student from Tufts.
So the other question is, what is the standard? In other words, we've seen reports of ICE officials looking at people's social media, and then we've seen others where, perhaps they were detained at a protest, in other words, physically detained by protests. It seems like the spectrum is incredibly wide as to what could put you in legal jeopardy.
I think the question, as we were just saying, people don't even know the bases that these are being revoked on. In some cases, Mahmoud Khalil, he was viewed as a leader of the pro-Palestine movement at Columbia. So they're saying that's the basis. With the student from Tufts, she was a co-author on an op-ed, but the school has come out in support of her. They say that that op-ed did not violate their terms as a school. They want her back as a student. Many of these other students, we have no idea why.
It's fascinating. Katrina, always great to have you in studio to help us understand what's going on. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.